All right, we're going to go ahead and get this thing going a couple minutes early just because I see the comments section moving and shaking. So, greetings and salutations to everybody out there in YouTube land. I'm your host once again, Dan Thornton. I want to thank you all for tuning in today to Lions Talk Live Wednesday morning show edition. And you know what? We're one day closer to the showdown out in San Francisco. Lions, 49ers. Somebody's going to win, somebody's going to lose, somebody's going to the Super Bowl. And did you know, a little FYI, the last time the Lions won a road playoff game, it was at San Francisco in 1957 against the 49ers to put the Lions into the World Championship game, in which they did win that year. The last time the Lions won a World Championship or / Super Bowl, whatever you want to call it now. And anywho, before we get into today's show, if you haven't yet subscribed to Lions Talk Live, please consider doing so. I think we're about 70 subs or 75 subs away from hitting 5,800. So if you'd be willing to help out with that, I surely would be thankful. Also, if you enjoy the content, hit that thumbs up thingy. Lastly, but never least, if you are considering buying or selling property in Michigan, give me a call, shoot me a text. Set a carrier pigeon if you want. Smoke signals work. Any way you want to get a hold of me, feel free to do so. I've been a realtor for over 30 years, so give me a call, shoot me a text. Let's see what we can do to save you some money on either the sale or purchase of that property and try to make sure the experience goes as swimmingly easy for you as possible. All right, getting back to the show now. All right, so we've got a couple things to consider today. I know a few of you have asked in text and other messages. There was something going around on social media last night, I'm guessing on X or Twitter, whatever you want to call it, saying that Deebo Samuel been ruled out. I did all the looking I could last night and this morning, and I don't see anything concrete with that, so I take it with a grain of salt. My guess is he's going to play. It's probably going to be real sore. And now if I'm the Detroit Lions, what does that mean? If he's out there, man, it's no disrespect, but if you're going to be out there and injured, I'm going to use that to my advantage. I'm probably pressing that dude at the line of scrimmage a whole lot and trying to get repeated hands on those shoulders. They're going to tape it up. They're going to ice it up. They're going to duct tape it. They're going to, spray it down with 1970s/80 hairspray to toughen it up so nothing gets through. But at the end of the day, the longer the game goes on, the more repeated shots he takes that shoulder. I mean, he's as human as anybody else. It's going to make an impact. Also, as you can tell from the thumbnail in this video, really do think the bulk of this game is going to come down to both teams' offensive and defensive lines. I mean, not that that doesn't normally play a role, but in this game, I think it's going to play an even larger role. Goff, as we know, you keep him clean, he'll pick most teams apart, and he's pretty good at it. When you allow consistent pressure on him, no different than any other NFL quarterback, he's going to play at a different pace. I do think the 49ers defensive line is pretty legit. I just don't think it's as elite as it was, say, a few years ago. Chase Young, since they've acquired him, I don't really think he's done a whole lot. He might have made him better, but I don't think it's noticeably better. Detroit Lions, we all probably know at this point, could potentially be down Jonah Jackson. It's my guess he's not going to play. I mean, that would be really showing some grit if you just had meniscus repair surgery 6 days prior and you're out on the field. But, I won't rule it out until they rule him out. All right, those are some quick thoughts for you. So now let's get over to the comment section, see what's on your guys' minds this morning. Jason, greetings and salutations for the rarely palmy tundra of Minnesota. The line is back up to +7, 24-23 Lions. I'll take it. Anything that's a win, I'll take and accept. Robert, good morning. Dan and crew, good morning, Robert. Hopefully having a great one. Michael, greetings and salutations, coach and do crew. Back at you, buddy. Michael, will AG still use Iffy and Branch on the edge blitz? I believe so. I would do everything I could to put things in as advantageous a situation for us as possible. One of the big advantages the Lions now have, as we're all aware, is the depth at safety. One could argue you really have 4 dudes that are upper echelon safeties on this team, and that obviously be Branch, Iffy, CJ Gardner-Johnson, and Kirby Joseph. I probably would not have Joseph up there as a blitzer too much, just because in run support, I just don't think it's his strength. Gardner-Johnson, not as much, but I think he's pretty good at it. Iffy, though, and Brian Branch, those are strengths of theirs, being up there and firing in the backfield, taking down running backs or anybody on a jet sweep or whatever. Those are things they excel at. Where, Kirby Joseph, I think more of his strengths are out there in the secondary, breaking up pass coverages, etc. CJ Gardner-Johnson's good at that as well. He's not bad at coming up and stopping the run. I just don't think it's really his strongest forte. Food for thought for you. All right, Robert, I'm pretty sure they will continue. They will make Purdy uncomfortable, so he will make more mistakes. And that's where I'm in agreement with you. I think they're going to continue the slot blitzes or things of that sort, especially if Deebo Samuel is in fact out, which, again, I don't think we're going to know one way or another until actives, inactives are announced on Sunday. It would be my strong anticipation. If you have to ask me here today, Deebo's a warrior. He's going to be out there like Frank Ragnow. He's going to try to power through it, I guess. How long he'll be able to do it, that's wait and see. I feel for anybody who's out there playing hurt, thankfully for him, it's an upper body injury and not a lower body, because on a receiver, obviously one would impact one more than the other. All right, T. Bourne agrees. Salutations. Lions signed an offensive lineman and running back. I see. They did sign 2 individuals to the practice squad. I'm sure they're going to evaluate them. Again, I know I led off the show talking about this, but Jonah Jackson, I really think it'd be one heck of a miracle if he's out there. He's nothing official, obviously, has come out yet, but I'll say this. Meniscus tears, especially for somebody who's going to have to move and go laterally a whole lot in blocking assignments with some big people pushing down on you. I mean, we'll see, but I would not anticipate him playing this week. All right, Jason Ford Field record 134.3 decimals for the Bucs game. Lions fan base is phenomenal. The experience in KC can pull us through. That's a fair comparison. The Lions, though, to your point, Jason, have played a lot of good games this year, some on the road, etc. But the hype, the nuances of that season opener against Kansas City, I think, there will be a strong comparison from that to this. So we'll see what shakes out, but you guys already know with the Towel of Destiny and the basketball fate predicted, Lions would win. Jessica, at Jason Mary, it became incredibly loud in there. Yeah, I got to imagine it was. Lance, good morning, everyone. 4 more days to go. We can do this! Exclamation point. I agree. I mean, hey, we've got, I'll put it this way. At worst case scenario, we've got a puncher's chance just because we've got the offense to be able to go down there and score. I really do believe it's going to come down to how well you can block the 49ers line and give Goff that extra second, maybe a second and a half, because I do believe the 49ers are not going to blitz a ton. They're going to do it from time to time, but they rely so much on those middle linebackers to cover, and both of them are great. Greenlaw, et cetera, they're great. They can roam that middle of that field, and they are phenomenal. The 49ers do not need to drop a safety down to the line of coverage because those 2 backers are so incredibly good at stopping the run and breaking on the pass. So that gives them some real flexibility in their coverage schemes and assignments. It would be my anticipation, probably 70% of the time, they're only sending 4 people. So you're going to have to give Goff a little extra time since there's now an extra person in coverage. I think if you do it, the Goff's going to have a pretty good game. Laporta's matchups, I think that's going to be one of the bigger tells for how the Lions are going to do. Laporta, I think he's going to be, basically by Sunday, he's going to be as healthy as he's going to be all year, really, a couple weeks after the injury. But with that being said, and those backers being so good in coverage, he's going to require probably a little bit extra time to get open, maybe even Amon-Ra St. Brown. So it could be some of the other guys that get a little bit more bulk of the ball, of the passes early in the game, just so they can help augment things and now get Laporta, now get St. Brown a little bit better coverage, and then open up a little bit more. All right, Jason, I so wanted to go. I bet you did. Yeah, I bet a lot of people wanted to get to Ford Field last week, so I get it. I mean, that place was a madhouse, I'm hearing, and obviously it was incredibly loud. All right, Robert, I just hope that all the media hype doesn't distract them too much. I don't believe it will, man. You look at how this team's mentally wired, the coaching staff, etc. Yeah, and plus the fact that everybody is definitely aware. You win this game, you're in the Super Bowl. Yeah, they're going to be wired in. Jason, stat nerd alert, Lions 41% of third downs during the regular season for San Francisco 49ers, 24th in third down defense. Combine that with 64% 4.1% red zone TD conversion rate. Boom. I'll take it. Yes. Jess, question, is Debo ruled out? There was something online last night saying he was. Just didn't think they would make a call on him already unless the shoulder bone was broken. No, I don't believe the shoulder bone, from all reports so far since the 49ers game, I don't believe it is broken. I think it's just really bruised. And again, I know I already talked about it once, but I don't think they're going to make any call until inactives on Sunday. My anticipation is he's going to play. All right, Brother Ken. Robert G., I believe Campbell will have them focused so intently that media coverage will not affect them too much. Yeah, I got to imagine, this team, the way it's been constructed, the types of personalities they're favoring versus others, just being aware of the history of this franchise, their coaching staff, all that stuff's going to come to play. I don't think anybody's going to be focused on anything other than really going to San Fran and getting a win. And I do believe they can do it. Michael, Team of Destiny or Towel of Destiny? Let me know in the comment section below. AJ, greetings and salutations all. Greetings and salutations to you. Hopefully having a great morning. Hookie Doo, good morning, Duke crew. Good morning to you too. And you know what? I'm going to really enjoy a Mountain Dew today. I can tell you guys that. Doug, greetings and salutations. We shocked the world, exclamation point. 49ers are going to get beat by their own game. We are going to dominate on the line, and the offense will carve them up. I do believe, Doug, to your point, I know I kind of already mentioned it, but I do believe you give Goff that extra, half second, full second to make some good reads, you're going to see him slice and dice this team. I know we talked about it yesterday too, when we kind of compared both teams. I really do believe the Lions corners, as much as we all kind of bemoan them, aren't vastly different than the 49ers. The safeties are fairly comparable. And I would say this, I do believe Detroit's safety group is overall better than the 49ers. The linebackers, the 49ers, hey, they're two main ones. They're studs. They're at a different level than the Detroit's. And it's no disrespect to our guys. It's just those guys are at another level. As far as the defensive lines, overall, I'm going to say this. The 49ers line's better. And again, no disrespect. It's just I think they've got a little bit more on it. With all that being said, overall wise, like if I had to get a grade on their defense, I'm going to give their defense about a 9 out of 10. I would give ours just about a 7.5, maybe an 8 out of 10. There's a couple little differences, mostly the linebackers, but I think we're pretty similar. Conversely, on offense, overall, I would say this. I think the Lions have a better overall offense. And yes, Goff's got a better arm. Yes, I think his experience, with the Rams, and then even this year, you could say, puts him on a different level than Purdy. A tight end situation, Kittle's great for sure, but I don't think it's incredibly or egregiously different than what we've got in Laporta. Receiver room, overall, I would say our receivers, are slightly overall better than the 49ers. Deebo Samuel's a freak of nature, all that stuff. I would say he's the best receiver for both teams out there, and it's no slight on St. Brown. I just think Deebo's slightly better. St. Brown, you're splitting hairs between the two. They're a little different. I think Deebo's a little bit better. But overall, I would take the Detroit Lions receiver group over the 49ers. So running backs, I think overall we're better. McCaffrey's great. I think Gibbs is pretty dang similar. And Dave Montgomery is definitely better than I think any other back the 49ers have. Zach, hey, 1 day closer to kickoff. Man, I cannot wait for this one, exclamation point. Brother Ken, don't forget, this is going to be payback and redemption time for Goff. Dude has unfinished business for the Super Bowl. You are correct. He'll be ready. And you know what? I'll throw this. While none of the Lions coaches or players are probably even remotely talking about this, this is payback for the 1981 game that the Lions should have won at San Francisco. So maybe they'll bring that up, and maybe that'll be a motivating factor. Jason, Brady, Peyton Manning, and Goff are the only QBs to lead two different teams to 14 wins in a season, includes playoffs. Yes, I think I did see that stat somewhere, but you know what? Man, what rare air for Goff, and good for him, man, because the more he has success with the Lions, the more his career looks exponentially better. There aren't going to be many guys at the end of his career in the history of the NFL that will have anything near what he's done. And if he gets us to the Super Bowl and wins it, man, oh man, that sounds like one of those 30 for 30 specials. Eddie, greetings and salutations, everyone. Any injury updates? Nothing other than what I gave you guys earlier today. I don't think Jonah Jackson will play. Been wrong before. We should get our first real taste of injury updates later today after practice when those notes come out. Ed, what do you got? So many people talking about storylines. I have one for you. Hit me with it. What if the NFL wants the Lions to play a rematch game with the Kansas City Chiefs? I'm all for it because the way you know how that happens, we make it to the Super Bowl. For all those people, I shouldn't say all those people, but I know there are some people that say that the league scripted or whatever, it's rigged. You know what? Fine. At this point, I just hope it's rigged for the Detroit Lions to be in the Super Bowl. You do that, I'm as right as rain, man. I will drink Mountain Dew all day on that Super Bowl day. Let me tell you, I'm taking a bath in it. I'm taking a shower in it. I will buy 20 different people I've never even met before in my life a Mountain Dew. I will just be beyond happy, and I'm taking that day off for the Super Bowl. I'm taking the day off after the Super Bowl too, because you know what? I'm just gonna be. It would be the greatest thing ever. All right, Michael, I'm starting to get excited for the game by Friday. I will be climbing the walls with anxiety. Yeah, you and me and everybody probably in this chat will be that same way. Jerome, good morning, Coach. If you're playing a team and you think they are better than you, do you tell your players that, or you just coach the upset? I'd probably use the upset angle. Try to use that as motivating factor. Hey, David versus Goliath, yada yada, steal their thunder. Probably come up with some big speech to give them before the game just to help motivate them. All right, Robert G, Coach Dan, you're going to have to change your prediction on who will have the winning score because Brock Wright will not be able to catch the TD you predicted. Nah, man, I'm sticking with it because you know what? I know a couple people caught that yesterday, and when I tried to tell them all, I was like, that's what makes the prediction so much more just exciting. The fact that Brock Wright out there with his broken arm is going to catch it. So that was part of the fun of it, I thought, man. But yeah, I'm still predicting Brock Wright, man. He's like, he can't hold me down. He can't keep me on the sideline. I'm gonna run on out there and I'm gonna catch that thing. So we'll see what shakes out, though. All right, Doug. Any news on Houston? No. I know we talked about it a little bit earlier in the week, Doug. I don't think they're gonna make an official ruling on him one way or the other until actives, inactives on Sunday. I'm sure he'll probably go with the team out there. But from what I've been able to ascertain and, take this with all a grain of salt because I haven't seen the kid out there, trying to get ready. They're just saying that his burst on his pass rush just isn't quite there yet. He's getting close, but that huge quick step, the step and drop of the shoulders and such, it's just not quite back yet. And I guess that's really what's helped him or kept him from being active. So hopefully he has it back this week because, getting him out there would add another element to us, maybe even alleviate the need to blitz a little bit. But you have to trust the coaches. I mean, they've done a great job assembling this team, coaching this team up, front office, etc., has played their roles. And you have to believe if they feel he's not going to help us and noticeably different from other options, that you got to keep him on the sideline, somebody else out there. I want him out there because I love the kid. All right, Jerome. Hey, Coach, can players play with a case on the arm if it's broken? There are some rules pertaining to it. Like I know you can't have any metal structure or I think even hard plastics now. I don't remember the ratios, but there has to be a certain amount of flexibility on there because you can't basically allow somebody to go out there with a weapon on their arm. So there are some ways you can play with protective surfaces on your forearms. It's just, there are also some regulations so you don't end up, hurting somebody else with that casing. Jason Ertz will with the game winner. It's possible. So, but man, I'm sticking with my boy right now. Obviously you guys all get that's a joke, but Ertz could actually be activated for it, and who knows? Maybe he's the one running the crossing pattern. But yeah, I'm just kind of still rooting for Brock Wright just because I'm being funny. Jerome, hey, Coach, based on strategy, do you like to receive or defer the kickoff? Me, I actually like receiving just because I like going out there and I have enough faith in the offense, especially the first drive, and sometimes the second drive too, where you have a certain amount of scripted plays. You believe this is going to give you a high probability of going down and scoring. because then you got the other team already before they even touch the ball. They're looking at the scoreboard and they're already down, 7 points. If my teams, would be 8 points because we'd be going for 2 just about all day long. But at any rate, you'd have them down, and that does have an emotional effect on teams. If you go down the opening drive, you score, and now you can force the team into a 3-and-out, you start to see the anxiety level, especially in a playoff game, rise exponentially. You go out there, and now you're able to go up, 10-0, 14-0, 16-0. You start putting some real pressure, especially on someone like Brock Purdy, who showed some signs of not handling that stress well last week. And now you start also limiting to at least a certain degree. The first quarter, not so much, but if you get in that second quarter and you're still up 16-0, or if you push it to 20-0, now McCaffrey in the running game becomes at least a little bit less of a threat because they're going to favor the pass a little bit more. Food for thought. Robert G, I'd rather see Laporta with it. Hey, I don't care if it's Jack Fox catching that thing. Just catch it, score it, and win the game. So, it could be Dan Campbell wants to come out of retirement as a player and get out there and be a player coach and catch it. Who cares, man? Just get somebody to catch that thing and win the game. All right, Brother Ken, guaranteed. If the H brothers, Houston and Hutchinson, go Purdy hunting, the Lions will make their first Super Bowl. It's a done deal. I like the way you're thinking. Let's make that happen. Southwest, good morning, all. Dan, watching the replay of the Tampa Bay of the Tampa game. The Lions really botched things up with the end of time management. They're lucky Tampa didn't call a timeout. They did mess it up, but you know what? I know Tampa's coach kind of talked about it. Lions had a field goal pretty much in hand. Yes, the Bucks could have gotten it with about 10, 15 seconds left. You still need a lot of things to go your way because with 10, 15 seconds, you got basically time, unless you throw it out of, get it to someone going out of bounds. You've only got time for at most 2 plays, realistically 1 play, and you're asking a whole lot if the Lions do go for the field goal, they miss it, then maybe you only have to go 60, 65 yards. If they make it, it's 11 points. You're done. If they punt it and you get it anywhere around the 20 or so, you got to go 80 yards on 1 play probably at that point. So they should have handled it better 100%, but, it is what it is. It's history at this point. All right, Jerome. Hey, Coach, is it a strategy to get an injury timeout to slow the game down? It used to be, but now you get charged timeouts if you do that in the last couple minutes of the game. Moonscar, any thoughts on how to limit McCaffrey? Hit him in the thigh. Hit him in the thigh a lot. Hit him in that thigh that's been biggest for him the last few weeks that he's been injured with. When you tackle him, hit him in those legs more and more because you know what? That's going to have a cumulative effect. I can't talk this morning. And it's no disrespect for the guy. I mean, I think he's awesome, but he does have a history of injuries, and the best way for us to defend him is for him to not be on the field. Outside of that, I would just say this. You're really going to have to watch your cut back lanes in all seriousness, not talking about thigh hits or anything, but in all seriousness, he does cut back exceptionally well. He finds gaps where people over pursue, especially the second level. So you got the defensive line, the backers filling. If they over pursue in those fills, he will plant that foot and cut back, and he'll get some significant yards. The Lions are going to have to be pretty disciplined against him because he is a home run threat waiting to happen. That being said, if you do limit him and effectively throughout most of the game, you're going to force Brock Purdy into becoming very one-dimensional. Give Green Bay some credit for that. Overall, they did a pretty good job with it, and that did put more pressure on Purdy throughout the game. And as we all probably watched, if you watch that game, Brock Purdy nearly threw the game away a few different times. I'll say this. The Green Bay Packers did more to lose that game, in my opinion, than the 49ers did to win it. James, all right. Good morning, Coach. Finally made another live video. Congrats, my friend. Go Lions. Can't wait for the weekend. Yeah, everybody's sitting here, man. Everybody's waiting. Everybody, man, I can only imagine what it's going to be like the Sunday morning show getting ready for this thing because, man, now you're just talking hours away from kickoff. Yeah, it's going to be a fun day. All right, K-Pop. Gibbs will be the best player on the field running back wise Sunday. There's probably some argument to be made there. I mean, it's nothing against McCaffrey. He's phenomenal. But Gibbs, man, he is also starting to look like he is pretty rare. And he might be something for the Lions for a while to come. And if he wants to go out there Sunday, wreck the game for the 49ers by running all over them, either catching, receiving, or whatever, then you know what? So be it. I'm okay with it. Southwest line, I would make it a point to have somebody hit McCaffrey on every play. Make him earn every yard he gets. 100%. Him and Debo, anytime they pass, he needs to get hit pretty good. Debo Samuel. Anytime they run, McCaffrey needs to get hit. I'll also say this: when they run the ball and Debo Samuel has to block, I'd make him pay for it too. Because again, it's not like I want anybody to go out there and intentionally try to hurt somebody. But if you can get some of those injuries to flare up where it's impacting those players, that's an advantage for you. And again, I don't want anything dirty. I don't want anything WWE, hitting somebody with a steel chair over the back or something like that. But if you're going to ask Debo Samuel to block in the running game, you need to go after him. And same with McCaffrey. All right, Brother Ken, Jerome, the great safety Larry Wilson of the Cardinals played with both arms in a cast, and dude had 2 interceptions. Yeah, you're throwing some throwback there with Larry Wilson, but yes, he was a heck of a player once upon a time. All right, Jerome, hey, coach, positive energy. We win this game 33-30. Lions, let's go Lions, 100%. I'm positive all the way, man. I'm positive we're going to win. All right, there we go. Dennis, good morning, fam. Good morning to you, too. Hopefully having a good one, my friend. Miles Marker, good morning. Lions going to be sharp as a razor come the championship game. Grit. I like the way you're thinking. Dennis, let's get that sack machine going on Lions. Yeah, the more you can get some hits on Purdy and start getting to the field a little bit, throwing a little early. Like we've also talked about, his intermediate routes, he's pretty accurate. He does a good job with that. I think it's the deeper routes where maybe he can get exposed a little bit. That's been one of the Achilles heels of our defense in the last 2 months. Quarterbacks with some arms have given us some issues when they're coupled with a really strong receiver group. I think we have some potential to limit them a little bit because of Purdy's arm strength or lack thereof. Max, please rate Barnes. Is he good now? I would still say he's probably the 3rd best linebacker on the team, but the difference between him and Jack Campbell at this point in both their careers isn't that egregious. Campbell has some more physical traits. I mean, the dude is just huge, athletic, but Barnes is no slouch. If I had to rate him like on a scale 1 to 10, I'd say Anzalone's probably your best backer, maybe like an 8. And then I'd probably put Barnes and Campbell at like a 7.5 or something. Alex Anzalone's best trait to me is that he can be an every down linebacker. He can cover and passes. He can, hit the flats. He can tackle in the running game. The fact that he can do all that and does it fairly well instinctively just means he gives you a lot of freedoms as a defensive coordinator to move him around or put him into different assignments. All right, Detroit D, good morning to everyone. Good morning to you too, my friend. Hopefully you're enjoying the day and having a great one. Southwest line at 4th and 14, that Tampa at 4th and 14, the Tampa converted. The Lions rushed 6, but they let Baker get out of the pocket. I think that was the right call. Just didn't get home in time. Yeah, they let him escape the pocket, and that's why he was able to roll to the right a little bit and hit that pass. So kudos to him for making the play. But to your point, Southwest, yeah, that was a little bit of a blown assignment, allowing him to get out of there. Jason, recipe for success. Lions postseason stats: 27.5 points per game, 74.3 pass completion, 0 touchdowns. Yeah, you're not wrong. The Lions, while we can all bemoan their pass coverage, some of the leaks in the defense, let's also give them credit, Aaron Glenn too, for what they've been able to do for 2 months now. They've been able to shut down, at least limit the scoring of other teams. They've dropped that, what was happening earlier in the year, exponentially. And to your point, in the red zone, they've come up aces. They've forced teams into more often than not field goals. All right, One Funky, good morning all. Good morning to you too, my friend. Who can do? What do you got? Morning, coach and do crew. Have a do. I hear it's better than orange juice. I am a big fan of it, as you guys are probably all aware, and I'll take it to my grave, man. To me, that stuff is mother's milk, the fountain of youth, whatever you want to call it. You know what? It's real good for you. Mile marker, sports, 40% game, 6% gossip. The Tebow rumor, right? Haha. Yeah. I have no idea about the Tebow, but I would just say Debo Samuel. Yeah, we won't know on Debo until Sunday. Southwest, even without Debo, don't sleep on Jennings. Yeah, he had 5 catches for 61 yards, substituting for him. And if they really feel Debo's not going to be able to perform this week or play, that also means Kyle Shanahan and the entire offensive staff are going to be able to work with whoever they're going to have filling in for Debo to augment or change the defense to fit that person's, offense to fit their strengths and weaknesses a little bit better. Where last week against Green Bay, they were kind of doing it all on the fly. Ozzy Osbourne, hey, man, haven't seen you in a minute. Good morning. Good morning, Dan. Did you see that they already got leaked commercials saying Ravens, San Francisco Super Bowl? Yeah, I know some people have pointed it out in the last, several days or whatever it's been. And that's just adding to the conspiracy theories that, everything's already fixed. It's already out there. It's all planned. It's rigged, whatever you want to say. So if it is rigged and everything, I'd look at on the positive side. The NFL, knowing that it's all leaked, they probably got to rewrite the script at this point and say, hey, one of these teams can't make it. Who do you want in? And I would say if it is, and they're doing that to rewrite the script, you probably put the Detroit Lions in the Super Bowl because look, the ratings the last 2 weeks in the playoffs. So could be a big win for us if this thing is WWE. Trey Fitness rising to all. I changed my Super Bowl prediction. I still have the Lions winning just against the Chiefs. All right, but what's the score prediction in that game? Let me know, Trey. And good morning to you too, man. All right, Ozzy, plus the color scheme of the Super Bowl, purple and red. Well, hopefully they change part of it to Hallelujah Blue. Let's make that happen. Ozzy Osbourne, then they got all the nemesis to the Lions, referee crew. Yeah, Clinton Blackman. Yeah, I know that's been talked about this week. Let's just hope there's nothing odd that happens in this week's officiating crew, but we'll control what we can control. Ozzy, hope they don't cheat us out of this game's go Lions. Yeah, and I hope not either. I gotta imagine, especially knowing how many people are going to be watching this game, because there's only 2 games left this week, and then obviously 3 games left, no matter what in the season. All eyes are going to be on this game, and if they have some real questionable thing happen, that's just not good for the league. Nobody wants to believe this thing is rigged. Nobody wants that speculation going around, especially going into the Super Bowl. So I gotta believe they're gonna put the best refereeing crews out there for both games as possible, just to try to avoid that situation. All right, Southwest, a case can be made that the NFL wants the Chiefs-Lions rematch. I would agree with that. Swift and Eminem will bring more eyes to the Super Bowl. There's a good, that's a good thought right there. That Taylor Swift, with the Chiefs, and Eminem for the Lions. I didn't consider that, but you might be onto something there. Ed, any Super Bowl watch party plans, either hosting or attending? We'll see, man. I mean, if the Sarge and a couple of our friends want to get together and do something, I'll ask them all if they mind if we set up a camera and try to, orchestrate something with YouTube, and so everybody can jump in and watch. So let me talk to everybody about that. I have no problem with it. If you guys want to do it, just keep in mind, there could be slight delays, or we could be slightly ahead. The few times I've done the watch parties, that's the biggest thing that I didn't like about it, is I'd call out some stuff happening, and some people would say, hey, you're like 30 seconds behind us. Others would say you're 30 seconds ahead of us. So just one of the issues I ran into. All right, Robert, in my opinion, whoever has the ball last will win. I think that you could be right on that 100%, man. Robert, what do you got? Greetings and salutations. Love your insight. The difference between this year and previous playoffs is that this year feels like only the beginning and not a fortuitous accident. Lions for life. Yeah, and I know that's a couple people pointed out that I get part of the reason the playoff ticket prices for Ford Field, both games skyrocketed, is there's just so much pent-up demand for this type of moment to happen. A lot of people going, I've waited 30 plus years for this opportunity. I'm not going to waste it because I don't know when it's ever going to happen again. I would like to believe the Lions franchise has gotten to the point in the last year and a half, where we should have expectations to at least see something like this again. Is it going to happen every year? No, that wouldn't be realistic. But I will also say this: nothing is guaranteed in sports. When the 91 team happened, we beat the Dallas Cowboys. There was a lot of talk that this was the start of a dynasty. Nobody knew the dynasty that was being started was the team that actually lost that game. So who knows what will happen, but I do believe, Robert, that we will be back again. This won't be the only time. All right, Aaron, good evening, coach from Australia. Lions got a lot of support here in Australia. I picked Lions 34-27. Go Lions. So here's a question for you, Aaron. When the Super Bowl happens, I want to say the kickoff's like 6 o'clock, 6:30. What time is it in Australia? I got to imagine it's got to be like 6 a.m. So you getting up early? I'm guessing you are, but you getting up early for that show? Let me know. Patrick, I think fan-wise, it may be like KC at San Fran, that the Lions fans may a time down out San Francisco fans. Yeah, to your point, Patrick, yeah, I think there's a strong possibility for this game that there'll be more Lions fans in the stands, or at least a real strong representation. I know a lot of people who are in the Detroit area who are buying tickets for the San Fran game. Their problem were the flights out of Metro Detroit. I want to say there was a couple of them that were heading over to Grand Rapids to fly out because the price differences were so different. Like the flights in Detroit were so sold out or in demand that some of the tickets were going for like $1,500, $2,000 just to fly out. I know I live in Southwest Michigan. Some people are driving on over to the Kalamazoo airport so they could take a hopper over to Indianapolis or even Chicago and then fly out from there just because it was exponentially cheaper. So if you're wanting to go, man, it's definitely a possibility, and it might have been way cheaper than seeing it in Ford Field. All right, Southwest, this is why I would have Gibbs and JMO in motion pre-snap. It would create confusion for their defense. No one guy can cover either of them. Yeah, I would agree with that would cause some matchup problems. Both of them burners, and you know what? You need speed to cover them. Don Kong, Super Bowl or bust. That's what I'm talking about. I like the way you're thinking, buddy. All right, Dennis, who go off in this game? I say Gibbs. Gibbs, I think, has a strong possibility. We're all expecting St. Brown and Laporta to have, their normal games, but Gibbs could have an absolute mammoth game if they can scheme up a few things to get him in the passing game, the running game, obviously. I always kill, I'm not even going to pronounce his name because I always kill it every time, but the backup who came in for Jonah Jackson, his pass coverage skills aren't the greatest. His run blocking is pretty comparable to Jonah Jackson. So that actually, at least you're not losing that in the running game with him being out there. And I always murder his name, so I'm sorry that I don't pronounce his name correctly. All right, Rose, what do you got? Good morning, Coach Dan. What does the NFL color logo red and purple mean? Yeah, there's been some debates about that already, but you know what? Hey, it's our job to go out there and put together such a great performance. They can't keep us out of the Super Bowl. JK, good morning. Got to find Sutton's replacement ASAP. Probably not happening, man, unfortunately. No disrespect, but, there's nobody in free agency right now who's going to be somebody to pick up. So these are the guys we're going to have to ride with. These are the guys we're going to have to die with. So maybe in the offseason, trying to look for a number 1 and number 2 cornerback, that might be a real possibility. But hey, this was the materials that the chef Aaron Glenn has to work with to prepare the meal. Let's hope he continues to put together a strong performance for us. All right, Dennis, hit that like button. Yeah, I can't see on my screen, so if you guys would be willing to hit it, please consider doing so and subscribing, trying to make that push to get to 5,800 by kickoff. All right, Michael, hey, thank you very much for that. Thank you very much. I will enjoy a Mountain Dew and a hot dog and leave Bobby a tip this morning, so thank you for that. Dennis, woo! I'll take that, man. Don Kong, the biggest key, which is boring, will be winning the turnover battle. Luckily, although our cornerbacks suck, not the greatest at it. We opportunistic players at every level, especially safety. We need that ball. Yeah, and this is to your point. I know we've talked about it yesterday and today. One of the things that I think could help our cornerbacks, Purdy is very accurate. It's just some of those deeper shots aren't his forte. We might see something unexpected out of our cornerback position. Maybe they can bust up a few passes or even come up with a pick. All right, Trey, Brandon, or man, I always kill his last name, is very good as well. Yeah. Yada yada badass. Good morning, Dan. Even though this game rigged, I still believe the Lions will pull a huge upset as the Lions don't shoot themselves in the foot. Lions will be playing Super Bowl 58. Mark my words. Go Lions. Woo, woo. And I will mark your words, man. And I know there are a lot of people that have speculated about the NFL. Who knows, man? I'm not here to say if it is or isn't rigged. If you guys have watched the channel for a while, you've heard my thoughts on it, so I won't bore you to death. At the end of the day, I will say this. Unless you're just going to be over the top obvious about what you're trying to do, if you're the league, the players and the coaches still can have the power to overcome anything with their performances. You start throwing too many flags or whatever, and the replays don't support it, that would become a real problem for the NFL, because at that point, you are damaging the shield. You are putting things into question. And if things get too obvious, that's exactly what you're doing. You're killing your product. Jesse, good morning. This is Detroit. All right, good morning to you too. Hopefully having a great one. All right, Steve, Tower of Destiny is better than Vegas. I will take that. Yes, I put all my faith in the Tower of Destiny. What do you got? Southwest Dan, I like the way the Lions used Iffy in the Tampa game. He was close enough to the line of scrimmage where he could either blitz, support against the run, or cover. He's a valuable player. He is. And that's what we were saying earlier. You look at a lot of the people we have in the safety room, you've got a couple guys that can do exactly that role, so you can keep teams at least a little bit off balance with what you might potentially be doing by where you move those players around. Hooky do. I have a feeling the Lions are just trying to catch off and put Houston in the game Sunday. Yeah, I'll go with that. Yeah, try to keep people at bay and to keep them guessing. I'll go with that. Go Lions. JK, read a guy had a $100, $100K payout bet on Michigan to win the Natty, and either Ravens to win national championship, and others bet slip on the same parlay, except he has the 49ers to win the same payout. I don't know enough about sports to be able to make heads or tails out of that. I'm just guessing he's got some real money on the line. If enough things happen, he's going to have a real good day. That's what I got out of that. Sorry, guys. I just don't know betting. Dennis, 131 in the chat. Hit that like button, fam. Yeah, if you guys could go ahead, I surely would be thankful. Jesse, good morning. As Detroit girl living in Dallas Cowboys land, absolutely loving the satisfying Detroit Lions season! ! Cried when they beat the Bucks! We can go all the way. Woo! I think we can. The basketball of fate and the Tower of Destiny, they wouldn't let us down. I think the Lions are going to win, and yeah, I still think it's going to be by 3 points. Game-winning drive, under a minute and a half to go. Crossing pattern in the end zone by a tight end. How about that? I'll leave it a little vague who the tight end is. Robert G, if our secondary can limit the big plays, we will be in a better spot to win. Yeah, win big. Yeah, I agree. And who knows? Maybe Brock Purdy really just has a bad game. Maybe we connect and hold on to some of those pick sixes. Maybe we end up winning, walking away. That would be something, because that means, the more you can win by, that just means the sooner in the game you can start reasonably celebrating, enjoying, let the anxiety go down. But let's be fair. Both playoff games have come down to the wire for the most part. And you know what? Hey, that just makes it, I guess, that much more, great to finally get the win, to get the release of the anxiety. JK, he lost the Niners, won Lions winning. We'll go with that. Yeah, I agree with that. Lions are going to win. Hooky Doo, I have a feeling the Lions are just holding off to catch San Fran off guard and play Houston on Sunday. Go Lions. I'll go with that. And you know what? I love it if it happens. David, will our newest tight end make a big play? We'll have to wait and see. It will be interesting to see if they activate Ertz for this game. But you are asking him to learn a lot of material and soundly in just a couple of practices. And I'm not saying he can't do it. I mean, dude's been in the league a billion years, but still retaining that kind of information and having him perform at a high level in the pressure moment, that will be something. But hopefully he can do it. Willard, does anyone remember Jimmy Allen's Another One Bites the Dust, or am I that old? No, I remember it. I got to imagine a lot of people in the chat remember it as well. The non-laughers, good morning, Dan and Duke Crew. Same to you. Hopefully having a great one. Mile marker, 49ers were coming off a bye. May have just been rusty. Now they're not rusty. Maybe. It is possible. And that's, you guys have heard me talk about it. When I'm coaching, I hate having the bye, because you're facing a team that's already got those kind of jitters, the postseason jitters out of the way from the game prior, where you're having to do it in the first quarter or so. Yeah, one or two mistakes changes the outcome of a game. Non-laughers, I don't believe Purdue is very accurate over 10 yards. Purdy, yeah. I don't think he is. Michael, by the way, good morning from the Philippines. Well, good morning to you too. What time is it over there? So hopefully, I'm going to imagine it's evenings or whatever, but I'm just glad you're here and hopefully you're enjoying the show. Southwest line, just don't give Purdy an easy dump off completions and make him throw the ball before he wants to. Yeah, I think the more you can force him to throw 10, 15 or so yards down the field, the more you're going to have an opportunity to capitalize on a mistake of his. Robert Willard, I remember that wonderful 1980 season. I started watching in 79, 2 and 14. That got us Billy Seams, 9 and 7, if I remember correctly. Yeah, early 80s, correct. Willard, Billy Sims was way better runner than Sanders. Oh boy, here we go. The great debate is on. Who was better? They were definitely different. Don Kong, hit that like button, please. Just win, baby. Just win. Yes, please hit the like button if you are ever so kind. And just win, baby. Eduardo, I am ready for Sunday. Bought my tickets and will be there to witness history. So Eduardo, how many tickets were left? Or are they getting close to selling out? Or, I mean, you may not know or you may know, but I got to imagine that place is going to be pretty packed come Sunday. Robert, Sims was a better receiver, but Sanders was the best pure runner. I'll go with that, man. Brent, good morning, Coach and Duke crew. Lions have become road warriors under MCDC. Grit travels well. Yeah, and I know there was something about the, what's his name? The guy that did the Bye-Bye Barry. I always forget his name. But him and Peyton Manning, when they did that exorcism of the curse of Bobby Lane with the whiskey at Ford Field in the end zone, he brought up a point watching him talk yesterday. Since they've done that, I want to say the Lions are something like 22-8. So maybe we should have done the whiskey exorcism long ago. Eduardo, this would be the best. This will have to be the best game the entire team and coaching staff calls. Yeah, I mean, you're in the NFC Championship. That's the way it should be. There's only 4 teams left. Everybody got here for a reason. Everybody's a pretty strong team. Don Kong, having CJ, Kirby, and Iffy really helps the red zone defense. I would agree with that. They're Hawks, and it's got to be scary for DBs when the field shrinks in the red zone. It does, and all those guys can, with maybe the exception of Kirby, they can all help in the run game as well. So you have a bunch of basically undersized linebackers in coverage who can cover and play the run. Eduardo, I am confident that if we make it to the fourth up by at least 1, we will win, and we should take the ball and receive. All right, we'll do just that. We'll put in the word. The Southwest, the Lions are getting more sacks, turnovers, and holding teams to 23 points or less. If they can keep doing that, they can win the Super Bowl. I would agree with that. David, go Lions. Woo! There you go, buddy. Eduardo, our biggest advantage will be the fact that the San Francisco coach and coaches conservative and Dan isn't or doesn't. This will be the kind of game where we can pull off a fake punt or something. I know I talked about that a little bit yesterday, but watching the San Francisco special teams, I do believe it's there. I do believe unless they have some different formations or have changed some things for this particular game, you could gash them, once, maybe twice throughout the game with some key moments like that. Eduardo, the San Francisco right tackle has given up more than 10 sacks this year. Him against Hutch will be a mismatch. Hutch and Gibbs will be the key players on Sunday. You're on to something there with the mismatches. All right, Trey Fitness. I have Lions 34, Chiefs 21. Sold. I will take it. Aaron, hey, Dan, Super Bowl starts at 10 a.m. here Monday morning. Well, hopefully you got the day off work, man, and you can enjoy it. So, I guess 10 a.m. is not too bad at all, man. Southwest line, the biggest area where I think AG has improved. He has made a commitment to stick with the defense being aggressive. I would agree with that. The Barnes interception was keyed by a blitz, which affected Baker's throw. Yeah, he knew he had to get rid of the ball in a hurry. And, he was trying to preserve time. He made a rush decision. Phil, good morning. Good morning, Philly. How you doing? Boo Booth, good morning, Duke Crew. JMO goes for a TD, defense scores. I like it. Phil, Sutton is fine. Yes, he is the best of the players we have at that position currently. JK, offseason, on Sutton. LOL. Yeah, my bad. Yeah, no worries, man. David, Houston, we won't know. My guess is until Sunday when the inactives come out. Matthew, greetings and salutations. Same to you, my friend. A mile marker. Sure hope Sutton is ignoring fans. If ever there was a time to build up his confidence, that time is now. Yeah, he's a veteran. He's been around a while. I would imagine it's not getting to him, especially since he wants to perform at a high level. Southwest Dan, it would be 12:30 in Australia when the Super Bowl starts. It would be 18-hour difference. Thank you for that. All right, 12:30 p.m. All right, we'll go with that. All right, SDs, save the secondary. Set son. Okay, bold statement there. Hooky do, Coach. Did you buy the Towel of Destiny at Bed Bath & Beyond? I need one. Go Lions. I'd have to ask Jen, but I believe it was from Target, but I'm not 100% sure. Let's see. The non-laughers. Autocorrect for Purdy. There we go. Yeah, no worries, man. I knew you were going with it. Phil, Jeff Daniels. Yeah, I always mess that up. Boo Boo saw Levi playing. Jalen Reeves Mavens was all over. Yeah, and I'm really glad that they're using him more and more different spots. I know the last time he was here, which would have been, was it the MCDC's first year, maybe second year? I don't remember, man. But he was starting to get to where he got more reps on defense, and he was making some plays, and you can just see where he's able to help the defense in some specific situations this year. PlayStation Simulation has us winning. We are good. I like the way you're thinking. You know what? Let me know what the PlayStation score was. Randy, Coach, you skipped me. All right. Sorry about that. If I did. But I guess if you had a question, Randy, just fire it back in there. Sorry, I don't even see your prior comment. So trying to scroll back here a little bit. But yeah, at least on my end, I'm not seeing it. But if I missed it, man, just repost it. And sorry about that. Ed, good morning. Another great chat. Hey, we got a pretty good group in here, so I enjoy it exponentially. All right, guys, going to cut off a little bit early today just so I can get a few things done work-wise and, get some coaching stuff done too. If you haven't yet subscribed to Lions Talk Live, please consider doing so. Trying to make that push to get to 5,800 before Sunday's kickoff. And if you have an extra second of time, if you would be so kind, hit the thumbs up button on your way out or closing the video or whatever. Otherwise, if there's some breaking news later today, I'll try to get to you guys as quick as possible. Otherwise, take care. Enjoy your day. We'll see you all in the next Lions Talk Live. A couple more. Hold on. Jim, don't forget to hit the like button. I will do. Michael, thanks, Dan. Anytime. 20-14 sold. Carlos, will it be too obvious for cleat sheets again? Let's hope they don't. Robert, have a great day. Same to you. Miles, all Lions. All right. Out of here. See you guys on the next one. Lions Talk Live. Go Lions.